At this depth, the ocean is not water. It is a crushing weight. The pressure is 380 times greater than the surface. It is enough to snap a nuclear submarine like a twig. Down here, there are no second chances. Nature does not care about your bank account. It does not care about your reputation. And it certainly does not care if you think safety regulations are a waste of time. On June 18, 2023, 5 men descended into the dark. They were told they were pioneers. They were told the vessel was safe, but they were lied to. This is the story of how one man's ego turned a carbon fiber tube into a coffin. Meet Stockton Rush, the CEO of OceanGate, a man who believed he was the Elon Musk of the deep sea. He didn't just want to explore the Titanic. He wanted to disrupt the entire industry. But there is a reason why submarines have looked the same for 50 years. They are made of titanium, they are spherical, they are tested to destruction. Stockton looked at those rules and saw barriers to profit.
Remembered as an innovator. I think it was General MacArthur said, "You're remembered for the rules you break." And I've broken some rules to make this. I think I've broken them with logic and good engineering behind me. The carbon fiber and titanium, there's a rule you don't do that. Well, I did.
He was right. He broke the rules, and we will definitely remember him for it. To make deep-sea tourism profitable, Stockton needed to fit more people inside. A metal sphere only fits 3. A cylinder fits 5, but metal is heavy. So he turned to a material used in rockets and airplanes, carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is incredibly strong for holding things in, like the air inside an airplane, but it is terrible at keeping things out. Under compression, carbon fiber doesn't bend. It cracks.
Different from nearly every other deep diving sub in the industry. A lot has been made about Titan's design being unsafe. You strip away this entire exterior, and this is what you have. Basically, a huge cylinder that's made of a composite material with the carbon fiber, and then you've got a titanium end caps and this viewpoint that's right there on the front. The question tonight is, where was the structural integrity problem? Where did the leak come from to cause it to implode? Did it come from somewhere in one of these end caps, which is essentially glued on to the end of that? This was not certified, nor did it adhere to the standard of all the other subs that make these deep dives, where the pressure is just...
Real engineers knew this. In 2018, OceanGate's own director of marine operations, David Lockridge, inspected the hull. He found flaws. He told Stockton, "This is going to fail. We need to test it." Stockton didn't thank him. He fired him. He gave Lockridge 10 minutes to clear his desk and then sued him into silence. The warning light was flashing red, and Stockton smashed the
glue's
ball.
very thick, so it's not like Elmer's glue. It's like peanut butter. All the things to shortcut.
You figure anything over 30? Well, that's pretty low. Huh.
How do you steer a vessel that costs $250,000 per ticket? You use a modified Logitech F71 O-game controller. Stockton Rush was proud of this. He bragged about it on national television. But the problem wasn't that he used a game controller. The U.S. Navy uses Xbox controllers for periscopes. The problem was the backup plan. The Navy has manual backups. The Titan did not. If this $30 piece of plastic disconnected or ran out of batteries, the 5 people inside were just passengers in a falling stone. On a previous mission, the thrusters were actually installed backward. The pilot tried to go forward, and the sub went in circles. Stockton's solution? He didn't resurface to fix it. He told the pilot to just hold the controller upside down. Before you got on the boat, you had to sign a waiver. It wasn't standard legal jargon. It was a terrifying promise. On the very first page, the word death appears 3 times. It explicitly states, "This experimental vessel has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body." Shahzada Dawood and his 19-year-old son, Sulman, signed those papers. Sulman was reportedly terrified, but he went because it was Father's Day. They trusted that uncertified meant cutting edge.
It's one Empire State Building made of lead sitting on top of you at that level.
But Stockton had an answer for the safety concerns. He had installed a real-time hull health monitoring system. He claimed that if the carbon fiber started to crack, acoustic sensors would hear it, and give the pilot enough warning to
Bang
ascend.
heard in the clip of Wendy Rush reacting didn't come through the equipment, they heard it from the outside.
Yeah. We should be about 500 meters, 30. What was that thing?
It was a gripping story, but it was a lie. The U.S. Navy has a secret system of underwater microphones designed to spot enemy submarines. On Sunday hours after the Titan lost contact, they picked up a sound. It wasn't a tap. It was a violent, catastrophic implosion. They knew, the Coast Guard knew, but for 96 hours they let the search planes fly. They let the families hope. While the world prayed for a miracle, the Titan was already pieces of confetti on the ocean floor. Carbon fiber doesn't bend before it breaks. It shatters. Experts warned him that by the time the sensors heard the cracking sound, the hull would already be milliseconds away from implosion. It wasn't a safety alarm. It was a death rattle detector. On June 18, 2023, the alarm was silent. The controller was charged. The hatch was bolted shut from the outside with 17 screws. There was no way out. At 8 a.m., they began their descent. 1 hour and 45 minutes later, the physics finally caught up. For 4 days, the world held its breath. We watched countdown clocks on CNN. We imagined 5 men huddled in the freezing dark, tapping on the hull, waiting to be saved. There is a small mercy in this horror. The passengers did not suffocate. They did not suffer. At that depth, the water pressure collapses the hull at 1,500 miles per hour. The human brain takes about 100 milliseconds to process pain. The implosion happened in 20. Stockton Rush, the 19-year-old seaman, and the others, they were alive 1 millisecond, and they were gone the next. They never even knew the hull had failed.
Hundreds of pages. The message is simple enough. This was badly designed, badly maintained, badly operated. They dodged all forms of inspection of this, and that's why 5 people died. If you look at some of the details, they talked about the design of this thing. There's a carbon fiber hull that basically is glued to these rings at the end where they put the caps on. These people are bolted inside. There is no way for them to get out under any circumstances without somebody outside helping them. No meaningful analysis on the life cycle of a carbon fiber hull. Carbon fiber sounds like a big word. It's a great material. It's wonderful, but it is these interlaced layers, and carbon fiber is either great or it has totally failed. There's not a lot of in between. When it starts failing, it fails. They weren't watching that carefully enough. They were over-relying on a real-time monitoring system. They had little sound systems, that were sensors on the hull of this thing that were basically listening to see if it was cracking. And if they had enough signs, well, maybe this thing's going to fail, we need to get out of here. And they had sensed problems before, which they just glossed right over and kept using it. I've spoken to engineers.
In 1912, a man named Captain Smith ignored ice warnings because he believed his ship was unsinkable. He sailed full speed into a disaster that killed 1,500 people. 111 years later, Stockton Rush did the exact same thing. He ignored the warnings, he fired the critics, he believed his own hype, and he piloted his plastic toy right into the same graveyard. The ocean is the final frontier on Earth. It demands respect. And if you try to cheat the physics with a game controller and an ego, the ocean will always collect its debt. This is Capital Black. If you want to see how the Crypto King scammed the world before he crashed, click the video on screen now. We'll see you in the next one.